Welcome to the NC Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University for today's OAC women's basketball matchup between the Muskingum University Fighting Muskies and the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders, here presented by Orbit Media Sports. I'm Chris Morgan, joined by Joe Scott up in the broadcast booth and by our sideline reporter Logan Weaver for tonight's contest. And Joe, when you look at tonight's matchup, the Muskie offense going to have to depend a lot on the big girl in the middle, Mallory Taylor.
Yep, she's your senior leader. She brings that senior presence. She's the best, one of your better scorers on the team. Your leading rebounder. She's going to play a key factor in this game for the Muskies to get a good win and a very important game tonight.
Definitely a very important game as both teams come in tied for fourth place in the Ohio Athletic Conference with a 4-4 overall record and close to each other in the overall record as well. The Purple Raiders come in at 9-5, and the Muskies coming in at 8-6. So when you're looking at things from that point of sides for the records, both teams trying to get into a position to get a home game in the first round of the OAC postseason tournament.
And it all starts tonight. You get a win tonight. You get that fourth spot in the OAC, and hopefully get some momentum into that OAC tournament. So this is a huge game for these ladies tonight on both sides.
Definitely on both sides, and the Purple Raiders come in countering the likes of Mallory Taylor with their big person in the middle. Erin White comes in as one of the leading rebounders in the OAC, currently third in the conference, almost 8 rebounds per contest, and one of the leading shooters as well.
Yep, you say, not to mention she's has the best field goal percentage in the OAC right now. She gets easy shots, she gets great shots off, and they give her the ball when she's open. So add to that, she's a very unstoppable player, and hopefully she'll continue that tonight in this game.
They're going to have to continue that down low for both sides. Taylor and White is going to be a fun matchup to watch for here in tonight's contest. But out on the perimeter for the Muskies, Alex Carson and Olivia Bazanson, we're looking for them to really continue to improve as players this season. Obviously, both of them veterans for this squad, and they really need them both to step up and make some shots from the perimeter.
Yeah, they're your two best shooters, your high-point shooters on this team. They're going to play a huge part in this game. They got to get the ball. They got to take some great shots, easy shots. Don't take a lot of these bad shots, which they like to take all the time. So they get easy shots off, and both those girls can have a great game tonight.
And on the flip side, for the Purple Raiders, led by head coach Susie Bennett in her 12th season at the helm for the Mount Union Lady Purple Raiders. They're looking to really get some big-time production on the perimeter from the likes of Abby Bartosowicz, the team's leading scorer, averaging 12 points a game. She's really been the one to kind of step up and take the role of Annie Bova for the leading scorer, the graduated Annie Bova, for this Purple team, and she's the closest that they've really come to replacing her this year.
Yeah, you always want to see your senior leader step up in big moments, and coming off a disappointing season. So she's been playing very well for this team, showing some great leadership and great leader presence for this team. So hopefully she'll continue tonight and be a big factor in this game.
And Coach Fox for the Fighting Muskies going to have these girls playing very sound defensively. That's something we've seen kind of off and on throughout this season so far. So we'll have to see what kind of defense the Muskies are going to bring out tonight, mixing up a little bit of zone, a little bit of man-to-man. So whatever kind of defense they want to run, they're going to have to figure out how to stick with it and make some adjustments later on as well. But with that, we are going to send it back to the studio for a short break. And when we come back, we will have a closer look at the final preparations for today's game here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the latest antivirus software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Center here on the campus of Muskingum University for tonight's OAC women's basketball matchup between the Muskingum University Fighting Muskies and the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders, presented by Orbit Media Sports. Once again, I'm Chris Morgan, joined by my partner in the broadcast booth, Joe Scott, as well as our sideline reporter, Logan Weaver, for tonight's contest. He'll be live with head coach Beth Fox in just a few seconds. But Joe, as we continue to get closer to the opening tip in tonight's contest, the Muskies are really going to have to bring their A game against a very good Mount Union squad. But before we go into that, let's go ahead and go live to Logan Weaver down on the sideline, who's with head coach Beth Fox.
Guys, I'm here with Coach Fox. Coach, what do you guys need to do to get back into this OAC battle?
Yeah, I think it starts at rebounding and defensive intensity. So I think if we do those two things tonight, I think we'll be all right.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck. Back to you.
Thank you, Logan. We will be up here in the broadcast booth, obviously keeping a close eye on what Coach Fox wants to do as a team in tonight's contest. And they're really going to have to bring their A game, like I said, Joe. And they're just going to have to do whatever they can in order to get that victory here tonight. But with that, let's go ahead and take another short break, and then we will be right back almost to the opening tip-off of tonight's OAC women's basketball battle, brought to you by Orbit Media Sports. 90.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
The Forum, we're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant, because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Welcome back to the ANC Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University for tonight's OAC women's basketball matchup between the Muskingum University Fighting Muskies and the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders. Once again, I'm Chris Morgan up in the broadcast booth, joined by Joe Scott and Logan Weaver down on the sideline reporting for us here tonight. With a minute 30 left before the opening tip-off, Joe, what are your keys to victory for the Muskies to get this win here tonight?
All right, keys to victory. Get each other involved. Share the ball. They're only averaging 11 assists this year. They need to do better. Cut down on the turnovers, averaging nearly 17 turnovers. You're not going to score any easy baskets with 17 turnovers per game. And at the free throw line, make your free throws. They get easy points from that charity stripe tonight.
And on the flip side, for the Purple Raiders, what are they looking to do to come away and break this tie for fourth place in the Ohio Athletic Conference?
They're a great rebounding team, so what do? You got to crash the boards every single time. Muskies are not a great rebounding team, so they got to crash the boards tonight and get Erin White involved. She's one of your better players, junior. Get her involved, and you should have a successful night.
And she's going to be the big-time component for this Purple Raider team. A big-time battle between her and Mallory Taylor on the other side for the Fighting Muskies. That's going to be the matchup tonight, down low. How do Taylor and White go up against each other, and how are they going to take advantage of each other's game and try to get themselves ahead? If either one of them wins that battle, then I think that team is going to come out ahead. It's all going to come down to the big matchup down low between Mallory Taylor and Erin White. With that, we will send it back to the studio for another break, but when we come back, we will have your opening tip-off here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Your one-stop shop for all things computer-related is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website, website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the latest antivirus software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
The Forum, we're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant, because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Welcome back to the NC Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University, where the Muskingum University Fighting Muskies getting set to take on the Mount Union Purple Raiders in an OAC women's basketball matchup. Joined up in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott and on the sideline by Logan Weaver. I'm Chris Morgan, bringing you tonight's matchup live on the Orbit Media Sports Network. And as we go through the starting lineups for tonight's game, Joe, a big-time change for the Fighting Muskies in the starting lineup, with Dana Parkman being inserted as the starting two guard in place of Alex Carson.
Well, it looks like the coach has confidence in her today. Must have had a great week of practice. She gets the start tonight. We'll see how she does.
And on the other side for the Purple Raiders, we're going to see the expected starting five here tonight with Abby Bartozowitz, Aaron White, Jamie Sanborn, Anna Alcary, and Cassie Hennessy. For the Fighting Muskies, like we already said, Dana Parkman being joined out there by Katie Smith, and another addition to the starting lineup, Haley Stocker, coming in to play that three-guard position, inserting Haley Stocker in there instead of Stephanie Clark, with Olivia Bazanson and Mallory Taylor rounding out the starting five for the Muskies. So Coach Fox deciding that she wants to switch things up a little bit and get this team back on the offensive attack. And I think this is going to be a good lineup for this Muskie team to get that attack back going, with both the starting lineup and the bench players coming in.
It looks like she's going to play a little small ball tonight, try to speed up the game, get some easy baskets going with a lot of breakaways. So it's a different strategy. They say she's doing something different tonight. We'll see how it does tonight.
And it's going to be an interesting matchup here. As we've already stated, the big one down low with Mallory Taylor and Aaron White going to be huge for this team here today. But now with the changes to the starting lineup for the Muskies, I think we're going to see a little bit of a different dynamic from them offensively. Haley Stocker is one player that really loves to touch the ball when she's in. So how does she come in and mesh with Olivia Bazanson, who's another big-time ball handler, and Parkman and Katie Smith? All four very much like to have the ball in their hands, so we'll have to see how they play with each other and how they move off the ball to get each other open for shots.
Yep, when you're playing small ball like this, you're going to probably see a lot of baseline cuts, a lot of cuts through the paint to get some easy baskets, and possibly a lot of outside shots to try to get some easy open outside shots. We'll see how it goes tonight. Should be an interesting matchup tonight.
And we will go to the center court for the opening tip-off here tonight. We'll see Aaron White going up against Mallory Taylor to start this one off. And the tip will go in favor of the Muskies as Dana Parkman comes up with it. And she will bring the ball up into the front court, going down into the lane, kicks it out to Stocker at the top of the point. And she will be fouled on the floor on the play for the Purple Raiders. First team foul and first personal foul for Jamie Sanborn, the sophomore forward from Twinsburg, being assessed her first foul of the night. So the Muskies inbound from right in front of the student section, going inbound to Dana Parkman, and she kicks it out to Stocker over in the left corner. She swings it around the perimeter, now going over to Katie Smith at the right wing. Smith goes back over to Stocker on the left point. Stocker drives into the lane, off the glass, no good. Rebound goes to Sanborn. Now going back the other way is Alkery for the Purple Raiders. She's got the ball at the high right point, goes over to Hennessy on the right wing, and she goes back around the perimeter, now back to Alkery. Alkery left wing, trying to find an opening to get it to Bartosiewicz. Now she gets it to Bartosiewicz on the opposite wing. Bartosiewicz goes over to Hennessy, now back down low to White. White on the low block, and she's going to go off the glass. That one's no good. Rebound goes to Mallory Taylor, and she will keep it inbounds barely before getting it over to Dana Parkman in the front court. She's got the ball left wing, gives it to Bazanson. Bazanson tries to go into the baseline, and there's another foul on the floor, this one for pushing off. This one will go against Anna Alkery for the Purple Raiders. Already the second team foul for Mount Union. That's what the Muskies want to see. Get to the free throw line early. Bazanson gets the inbound into Katie Smith. She's got the ball left wing. Back down to Taylor. Taylor trying to drive down to the baseline as Aaron White goes down. Now a three-point attempt for Mallory Taylor. Goes off the front of the rim, no good. And another quick foul being assessed on the play. This one will go against Bazanson for the Muskies. That'll be her first personal, team first foul in the opening quarter, as there is no score a minute into the contest with 8:50 remaining on the first quarter clock.
As we were talking about earlier, Aaron White and Mallory Taylor going at it right now down the block.
Bartosiewicz has the ball right wing for the Purple Raiders. She's going to get a screen from White, now gives it over to her on the right wing. Now over to Hennessy. Hennessy spots up from 17 feet, no good. Rebound goes to Taylor, and she hands it off to Katie Smith going back the other way. Smith over to the front court, now goes over to the left wing. Passes it over to Taylor, who's going to be guarded by White. White giving her lots of space as she goes back up top to Parkman. Parkman down on the elbow, drives into the lane, goes off the glass, and that one's good for the first points of the evening. Parkman gets the Muskies up 2-0 just 2 minutes into the ball game. Bartosiewicz now with the ball for the Purple Raiders. She goes up top to Hennessy. Hennessy going to be guarded by Smith, looking for an outlet. She goes over to Sanborn. And Sanborn back down low to White, and White has an easy layup there on the defense by Haley Stocker, and this one's tied back up 2 points apiece with 7:50 remaining in the opening quarter. Katie Smith brings the ball up for the Muskies. She goes over to Bazanson on the left wing. Bazanson tries to fight through a screen, and she will give it up to Smith on the right wing. Smith goes down low to the right block to Taylor. Taylor trying to post up on White, goes off the glass, and that one's no good. Forces the rebound away from Sanborn on the play, but it goes out of bounds. Last touched by Taylor, according to the official, and the Purple Raiders get the ball back. Purple Raiders go to Alkery to run the point this time. The 5'5 sophomore from Massillon Jackson goes over to the left elbow, now back out to Hennessy. Hennessy goes around the perimeter to Alkery on the right wing. 15 seconds on the shot clock as Bartosiewicz swings it around back to Hennessy on the left wing. Back down low on the left elbow to White. White spins back around, goes off the glass. This one's no good. Rebound goes to Stocker, and the Muskies will avoid trouble on that one as Parkman gets the ball up in the front court. She's going to drive into the lane with a floating layup. No good, but she will draw the foul on the play and will go to the charity stripe for 2 attempts. I believe that one's going to be assessed to White on the play for the Purple Raiders. The third team foul, and actually no, they're going to give it to Alkery. Her second personal foul, so she'll have to come out with a substitution here early.
As you can see from the beginning of the game, the Muskies trying to get it and go, trying to move that ball up the court as quick as they can and try to get an easy shot like they did just there with Parkman.
Parkman makes the first free throw attempt as subs come in for both sides. We'll see for the Muskies, the 3, Stephanie Clark, and number 34, Morgan Gossett checking in as Parkman makes the second attempt. For the Purple Raiders, we'll see Kelsey Scott along with Hannah Ferguson, and number 10, Casey Morissette checking in as well. Ferguson brings the ball up, and she's going to go into the lane, kicks it out to the right wing, and that one's off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Katie Smith for the Muskies. That was Morissette on the attempt for the Purple Raiders from the right corner. Muskies up by 2 points, 4-2, with 6:40 remaining in the first half. first quarter, as Alex Carson, who also checked in for the Muskies, gets the ball. Now she's got it back on the right perimeter, and she's going to shoot a three, and that one will go. Alex Carson getting her first make of the evening, puts the Muskies up by 5, 7-2. Morissette on the left wing goes down low to White on the left block. White going up against Clark, gets that one to go off the glass and good, as it's back to a 3-point ball game, 7-4 in favor of the Muskies with just over 6 minutes remaining in the opening period.
Great left-handed shot right there by Aaron White to get the easy basket.
Clark gets the ball down low for the Muskies, and she's going to get an easy layup, taking a little bit of a height advantage over White, as White only stands at 6 foot even, while Clark is a very tall 6'2" for the Muskies. Bartosiewicz with the ball. She gives it over to Scott. Scott goes with a floating layup. Nothing on that one as she overshot the hoop entirely. Carson gets the rebound and goes now to Katie Smith. Smith off the glass, no good, but she's able to draw the foul. This one will go against Morissette for her first personal foul and the fourth team foul already for Mount Union here in the first quarter.
Good to see Carson get an early three-point basket with her first touch. Shot up a three, and she made a good start for her.
That's exactly what the Muskies need as Katie Smith puts up the first attempt, and it will go in. Quick sub coming in for the Purple Raiders is number 42, Renee DeFord, getting her first action, the 6'1" sophomore. So she will come in as Smith gets ready to attempt her second free throw. That one's also good. Muskies up by 7 points now, 11-4, with 5.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Purple Raiders running the ball effectively over to the other end as they will get it back up to Ferguson on the left point. She goes over to Bartosiewicz, who spots up for a long three. That one's off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Clark for the Muskies as Bartosiewicz misses on her first three-point attempt of the night. Carson with the ball in the right wing for the Muskies, trying to find an outlet as she takes it all the way over to the left, going back out and kicking it back out to Smith on the other end. Smith down low to Clark. Clark with a step-back floater off the back of the rim. No good. Too much juice on that one. And the rebound will go to the Purple Raiders. Going back the other way is Ferguson. Back over to Bartosiewicz. Bartosiewicz with a floater off the glass. And that one's good. Lead is down to 5 points for the Muskies. 11-6, just under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Smith with the ball gives it over to Bezanson, right wing. Now over to Gossett. Now back over to Carson, right wing. And she's going to be called for traveling on the pump fake attempt. Picked up her drag foot in the process, and the ball goes back over to the Purple Raiders on the turnover. Quick subs coming in for the Purple Raiders once again as Haley Roddy checks in, as well as Rachel Tinkey getting her first action for Mount Union. Ferguson brings it up, goes over, and faking the handoff to Tinkey is Roddy. Now giving it over to Ferguson. Ferguson drives baseline, and she will draw the foul on the shot. Foul will be assessed to Katie Smith for the Fighting Muskies, her first personal, team second in the first quarter, and it will send Ferguson to the line for two. Subs set to come in for the Muskies as Taylor Parkman, Moses, as well as Peyton coming in for Coach Fox and the Muskies. Excuse me, that's Stalker instead of Peyton, as the first attempt from Ferguson went down and in. Gets the score back to 11-7 in favor of the Muskies. Second attempt from Ferguson is also good. Down to a 3-point game once again, 11-8, with 4.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Mariah Moses, who's just checked in for the Fighting Muskies, bringing the ball to the front court. She gives it over to Clark. Now over to Parkman on the right wing. Back over to Stalker. Stalker trying to find Moses in the corner. Now swinging it back around. Stalker spots up for three. That one's off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Parkman. Parkman with the putback, no good, but she draws the foul, and she will go back to the line for two more free throws off the fifth team foul already by Mount Union here in the first quarter.
That's what the Muskies want, to try to get Mount Union into early foul trouble, and they're doing it right now. Early 5 fouls.
That foul being assessed to number 43, Liz Jones, seeing her first action of the contest. Parkman makes the pair, and she gets it back out to a 13-8 lead for the Fighting Muskies. And going back the other way is Ferguson offensively. Ferguson gives it over to Tinkey on the right wing. Tinkey going to get a screen and now trying to get her way around. Has the ball taken away momentarily by Carson and gives it over to Morissette. Morissette now screen, and she's going to drive into the lane, goes off the glass, and that one's no good. Rebound to Mallory Taylor, and she gives it over to Moses to bring it up the floor. Moses goes over to Carson. She's got it at the high right point. Now she goes over to Parkman in the right corner. Parkman tries to get into the lane, no good. Has it taken away momentarily, and she gets it out to Taylor. Taylor, high right point, now dribbles it up, gives it over to Moses on the left wing. Moses over to Stocker. Stocker for three from the right wing, and that one's off the rim, no good. Goes over the backboard, and it will be out of bounds, going back over to the Purple Raiders. Muskies lead 13-8 with 3.5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter over the Mount Union Purple Raiders as Tinky's got the ball on the right wing. Carson's going to be called for a foul, reaching in on the play. That'll be the third team foul, for the Muskies. First personal for Carson, and the Purple Raiders will inbound from the baseline. Ferguson to do the honors, and she gets it into Morissette. Morissette has it taken away, and the ball goes out of bounds. Coach Fox saying it belongs to the Muskies, but the officials thinking otherwise momentarily. Two officials now joining up under the basket, and the officials do get it right this time. Ball goes over back to the Muskies on the turnover as it went out of bounds off of Morissette on the miss.
Coach Fox pleading her case on that one. She got what she wanted.
Moses brings the ball up for the Muskies. Going to give it over to Parkman in the right wing. Parkman gives it up top to Carson. Carson, another travel call on the pump fake. Picked up that back foot another time, and she'll give it back over to the Purple Raiders. Bad turnovers for Alex Carson to start the game after a very promising start with her first three-point make on her first attempt. Ferguson brings the ball up for the Purple Raiders. She'll give it over to Morissette. Morissette with the ball up top, goes over to Tinky, right wing. Tinky gets a screen, trying to drive into the lane, gives it up to Ferguson. Ferguson at the high point, going over to Morissette, left wing. Now back down low to Jones. Jones kicks it back out, and now Tinky's got it, gives it over to Morissette for a long three from the wing, and that one's no good. Rebound tipped around and eventually taken in by Parkman. Morissette tried to draw a charge on the play as Parkman gives it over to Carson in the right corner. Carson goes down low to Mallory Taylor on the left block. Taylor's going to go off the glass, trying to anyway, gets it to not go in. But she will draw the foul on the play, the sixth team foul for Mount Union here in the first quarter, and the second personal foul on Liz Jones.
Good to see Mallory Taylor go strong to the basket to get that foul right there.
First free throw attempt from Taylor is going to go in and be made as Katie Smith checks in for Moses. Group subs coming in for the Purple Raiders as we're going to see White check back in along with, I believe we're going to see Hennessy and Sanborn check back in. Ferguson will remain out there for Mount Union as she gives it over to Tinky on the right wing. Now she's going to go back over to Sanborn. Back down low to White. White goes off the glass, and it's good, and the foul, as she will have a chance to convert the three-point play on the foul by the Muskies. Fourth team foul, first personal foul being assessed to Haley Stocker, as we will see Gossett and Clark check back in. Bezanson and Mallory Taylor all go back to the bench, as well as Stocker. Free throw attempt from White is off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Carson. And she tries to get the ball down the floor to Parkman, and it's too long on the pass, goes out of bounds. Turnover going back over to the Purple Raiders. 15-10 is the Muskies lead with just over 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Ferguson brings the ball up for the Purple Raiders. She's going to go over to Sanborn. Back over to White on the right elbow. She hands it off to Tinky. Tinky, right wing, trying to size up Carson. Gets a screen, pops up for a long three, and that one's off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to White, though, and she gets blocked by Parkman. Rebound fighting for it are both sides, out of bounds. Last touch by White, and the Muskies will get the ball back.
Probably the smallest girl on the court, just got a great block right there on Aaron White. Good hustle play by Parkman.
Not every day you see a point guard blocking a center, especially in women's basketball, but Dana Parkman willing to do anything she has to do to get involved as Carson spots up for three, and that one's good. Alex Carson 2 for 2 on the night from three-point attempts, and the Muskies lead is now out to 8 points, 18-10 with 1:30 remaining in the first half. And now Carson getting involved defensively as she's going to tip that ball out of bounds. Last touched by Carson as she's going to go over to the bench now. Bezanson comes back in, and Coach Fox clapping in pleasure over there on the Muskie bench as Carson's getting herself involved now, getting back on track, as Bartozowicz is going to check back in for the Purple Raiders, as well as number 12, Megan Hess, checking in for the first time. Hess is going to drive into line and gets it off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Gossett for the Muskies, and that one's going to be taken away out of bounds. Last touched by White for the Purple Raiders. So the Muskies will keep possession. 26 seconds on the shot clock, so plenty of time. 1:20 left on the game clock in the first quarter. Smith brings the ball up, gives it to Bazanson in the right wing. She gives it over to Parkman right back top. Parkman sizing up her opponent, drives into the lane, floater off the glass, and that one's good as well. Muskies lead is out to 10 points now, 20-10, and in the first quarter, they look like they want this one more. Just have to keep this effort up in the remaining quarters with a minute remaining to go in the first period. White now with the ball, kicks it back out to Hess. Hess goes back over to Sanborn. Sanborn to Bartosiewicz, who spots up for three, no good. Rebound goes to Hennessy down low. She kicks it back out, and a long three-point attempt this time by Hess, and that one's good. As it's back to a 7-point game, 20-13, with 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Smith brings it up for the Muskies. An opportunity to go for 2 for 1 if they score quickly here, as Parkman's got the ball. Spots up from the left elbow, and that one's off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Bartosiewicz. Bartosiewicz brings it up for Mount Union, kicks it over to Hennessy. Hennessy all the way across court to the wide open Hess on the play. She turns down the three-pointer and drives into the lane, puts up a shot, and is fouled on the play by the Fighting Muskies. That'll be the first personal foul against Stephanie Clark, 5th team foul, so now the team foul's back even for both teams, as Hess will go to the line for 2 shots. First attempt by Hess is good, gets it back to a 6-point ball game, 20-13. Subs coming back in for Mount Union, as we will see Kelsey Scott as well as Renee DeFord check back in. Second attempt by Hess is also good, so the Muskies get it back with 19.3 seconds remaining, up 5, 20-15, and now we're going to see a full court press from Mount Union trying to get the ball back for the final shot. Parkman's got it, goes over to Gossett. Gossett for a long three, and that one's off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Scott. 6 seconds on the game clock as Parkman's going to pick her up on defense. Now over to Hess. Hess with a sidestep, blocked by Parkman, and that will do it for the first quarter as Parkman comes up with 2 big blocks to help the Muskies get out to a 5-point lead, 20-15 at the end of the first quarter. We will take a short break and send it back to the studio, and we will be right back for second quarter action. Muskies up 5, 20-15 on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Authority in East Central Ohio is ESPN Cambridge, FM 107.9, AM 1270 on your radio dial. Featuring great programming like Mike and Mike, Dan Lebitard, Ohio State basketball, Reds baseball, Blue Jackets hockey, select NFL games, and college football and basketball. ESPN Cambridge is also your local sports authority too. Featuring local high school sports all year round with some viewable on Cable TV 2 in Cambridge or streaming online at yourradioplace.com/YRPTV. Your home for sports is ESPN Cambridge, FM 107.9, AM 1270.
Welcome back to the ANC Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University, where the Muskie women's basketball team finds themselves up by 5 points, 20-15 at the start of second quarter action against the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders. We'll see a quick stoppage on the floor almost immediately to start the second quarter. I believe we're going to see a foul being assessed off the ball. Not quite sure who this one is on, as no announcement's been made yet. Maybe just an equipment malfunction or something. Not quite sure why the officials stopped the clock, but the Purple Raiders will inbound, and going back over to Scott as she's going to drive into the lane, has the ball go off of her knee and out of bounds, and the Muskies will take back over offensively, up by 5 to start the second quarter. Joined up in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott and down on the sideline by Logan Weaver. I'm Chris Morgan, bringing you today's broadcast live on the Orbit Media Sports Network as Parkman gets the ball for the Muskies as she's going to drive into the lane. She goes off the glass and gets that one to go. Back to a 7-point ball game, 22-15 in favor of the Muskies. Hennessy with the ball left wing for the Purple Raiders, looking for an outlet as she's going to get a screen from DeFord. Now going back over to Hess, left corner. and kicking it back around the perimeter, swinging it back around now to Hennessy. Hennessy goes over to Bartosiewicz, now back up top to Hess. Hess right wing to Bartosiewicz, driving, now kicks it back out to Hess. Hess drives into the lane, and she's going to be blocked by Stephanie Clark on the play. Another huge stuff for the Muskies, their third block already in the contest. 2 by Parkman and 1 by Clark, as Gossman's going to step up for 3, and she gets that one to go. Now back to a 10-point ball game, 25-15 off of Gossett's first 3-point from Licking Valley High School. What an amazing start to the second quarter here, Joe.
Well, first of all, Parkman's a guard, point guard, right? You sure? She's not a center?
I'm not too sure at this point. She's not playing like it.
I'm about to say, she's got 2 block shots already. She's getting rebounds on the offensive end. She's playing a great first half right now.
She's one of those guards that really is not afraid to get dirty down low, and that's what I love about Dana Parkman for this team. Getting the start here today and kind of a surprise switch by Coach Beth Fox, inserting Dana Parkman as well as Haley Stalker into the starting rotation, taking out Stephanie Clark and Alex Carson in favor of those two. So far, it's working for the Muskies as Carson's come in off the bench, and she's already made 2 3-pointers, and the Muskies find themselves up 10. And now we see a travel by Morissette coming in for the Purple Raiders, and the ball goes back over to the Muskies already here in the second quarter, up by 10 points. 8:49 left on the second quarter clock as Katie Smith is going to bring it up for the Muskies. And now look at Parkman posting up down low. She's going to go off the glass, no good. Trying to get her own rebound and being assessed an over-the-back foul on that one. A little too much of going over the back action. A good call on that one by the official.
She's working in that post down there. She wants to get down there and try to get some easy baskets.
Dana Parkman playing bigger than she is right now in this game. Only stands at 5'7", but she is definitely throwing her size around and trying to post up, get some points down low as White goes off the glass rim, no good. Rebound goes to the Purple Raiders, and it will be taken out of bounds. Last touched by the Muskies as Morissette will reset, and now Ferguson will inbound for Mount Union. Once again, Muskies up by 10, 25-15. Ferguson inbounds it to Sanborn, now gives it over to Morissette. Morissette goes down low to White. White off the glass rim, no good. Rebound goes out of bounds. Officials not making a decision just yet. Now they're going to say that it will stay with the Purple Raiders as it was last touched by the Muskies. And they will reset with another fresh shot clock. Two officials wanted to talk things over really quick just to be sure they were on the same page. They keep the call right where it was as the inbound will go to Sanborn. Sanborn gets a screen, now trying to go back down low to White. White has it taken away, and Katie Smith's going to come up with it off the steal by Clark. Going back the other way and going down low to Clark. Clark off the glass, and that one's good. Muskies lead is out now to 12, 27-15 with 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Bartosiewicz goes all the way back over to Sanborn at the right point. Now back over to Bartosiewicz, who spots up for 3, and that one's good. Nothing but net from the senior Bartosiewicz from the right wing. And now it's back to a 9-point game, 27-18, 7:45 remaining in the second. Smith brings the ball up for the Muskies. She's going to get a screen from Bazanson. Now goes to the cutting Bazanson in the right corner. Bazanson to the lane, getting inside, goes off the glass with the floater, and that one's good. Bazanson flashing the moves that we saw from her in her freshman season as the Muskies back lead by 11 points, 29-18, and Bazanson's going to be called for a blocking foul on the other end, trying to draw the charge on the drive by the Purple Raiders, as we will see Mallory Taylor, Haley Stalker, and Alex Carson all set to check back in, and it will send Morissette to the line for 2 free throws.
Good to see the Muskies move the ball around the offensive perimeter and try to get some easy shots down low.
That will be Bazanson's second personal foul, team second in the second quarter. No team fouls yet for the Purple Raiders as they really started off slow from foul trouble in the first quarter. Morissette's first attempt is good. Gets it back to a 10-point game, 29-19. The 3 subs come in for the Muskies as Gossett, Bazanson, and Clark will all go to the bench. And Morissette will get set for her second attempt. 29-19, Muskies lead, pending this free throw. Second free throw rattles around the rim and will fall. Back to a 9-point game, 29-20. 7:26 remaining in the second quarter. As Smith brings it up for the Muskies, gives it over to Carson, back to Smith. Smith spots up for 3, and that one's good. Katie Smith with her first 3-point make of the evening gets it back to a 12-point game, 32-20. in favor of the Fighting Muskies. Down low to Morissette. Morissette goes off the rim, and that one's good on the layup attempt. Back to a 10-point ball game. 32-22, 7 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Smith brings it back up for the Muskies, gives it over to Parkman, right wing. Parkman back up top to Carson. Carson looking for an outlet, gives it over to the right wing to Smith. Smith trying to go down low to Parkman. Pass taken away by Ferguson. Now Smith is going to go all the way around the perimeter as Stocker's got it. Stocker trying to drive baseline. Gives it to the cutting Parkman. Parkman absorbs the contact. Can't get the shot to go, and no foul call. And the rebound will go over to the Purple Raiders. Back the other way is Ferguson going down low to White. White kicks it back out to Ferguson. Ferguson drives into the lane. Kicks it out to Sanborn. Sanborn left wing. Finding an outlet. Goes over to Bartozowicz right wing. Bartozowicz now retreating, gives it back over to Morissette. Morissette, ball tipped in the air, trying to go down to White. White gets it momentarily, and the ball is still loose. Now picked up by Mallory Taylor. Muskies go back the other way. Ball is thrown over the head of Carson, and it will go out of bounds. Miscommunication on the pass there, and the Purple will take back over as Tinky and Hess will check back in for Mount Union, as well as number 23, Haley Roddy.
Fun to see both teams hustling for the basketball. They know how important this game is. You got to get those hustle points.
And now in an attempt to get Dana Parkman some rest, we'll see Skylar Fenimore getting her first action tonight. Bringing the ball up is Hess. She'll hand it over to Morissette. Morissette goes down to Tinky. Tinky trying to post up, goes off the glass, and that one's good for Rachel Tinky, getting her first 2 points of the contest. Back to an 8-point game, 32-24 in favor of the Muskies. Fenimore spots up for three from the corner, off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Morissette. Morissette kicks it up to Hess. Hess going down low to White. White on the right block, off the glass rim, and good. Mount Union starting a run of their own now, 32-26 in favor of the Muskies. 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Smith with the ball, kicks it out to Stocker. Stocker for a long three, and that one's good to go. Muskies back up to a 9-point lead, 35-26, 5:22 remaining in the second quarter. Morissette with the ball, left wing's going to get a screen from White, driving baseline, now going back up top and draws a foul on the shot. Looks like she was going to go for a weird reverse layup on the play, and that will send her back to the charity stripe off of the second personal foul from Katie Smith. Team third on the Fighting Muskies. Subs getting set to check in for both squads. Looks like we're going to see Moses check in for the Muskies. First free throw attempt for Morissette is no good. Moses checks in for Smith, and we will see DeFord check in for White, and the other sub will be coming in for Morissette after the free throw attempt. Second attempt rattles around the rim and is good, and we will see Hennessy check back into the ball game as Morissette goes back to the bench. So the Muskies lead is back down to 8, 35-27 with just over 5 minutes to go in the second quarter as Moses brings the ball up for the Fighting Muskies. She goes over to Carson on the right wing, now down low to Stocker. Stocker with the pump fake, spinning around and goes into the rim, and that one's good. Back out to a 10-point lead. It's 37-27 off of Stocker's 5th point of the night. Hess goes over, almost taken away by Taylor, trying to go over to Roddy on the play. Now back over to Hess. Hess over to Toddy. And a travel call being assessed over to Roddy, excuse me. As a sub comes in for Mount Union, we will see Sanborn check back in as Roddy goes to the bench. And the Muskies get the ball back up 10 points, 4:47 remaining in the second quarter. Moses brings the ball up into the front court for the Fighting Muskies. She'll give it over to Stocker, left wing. Stocker down low to Mallory Taylor, and we'll see a foul assessed on the play. This one will go against Renee DeFord. Tried to go over the back of Taylor to get to that one, and that will be the first team foul for Mount Union in the second quarter. First personal for DeFord. Fenimore will inbound from the baseline for the Muskies. She's going to go all the way back up top, tipped around, and eventually gets over to Stocker. Stocker with the pump fake, dishes it out on a no-look pass to Taylor. Taylor from 19 feet, and that one's no good. Gets her own rebound and gets to the rack for another easy layup. 39-27, Muskies lead is back out to 12. Only the 4th point for Taylor as Hennessy spots up for three, and that one's good from the perimeter. A traditionally not good three-point team in Mount Union tonight. They're making a lot of them in this contest so far. as Taylor spots up for a three of her own. No good. Rebound goes to Sanborn. 9-point game, 39-30 with 4 minutes remaining. Steal going the other way for Carson. Carson dishes it down to Taylor, and a great 1-2 punch down low for the Muskies. Back to an 11-point game, 41-30. Hennessy in the left wing for the Purple Raiders. Going back over to Tinky up top. Tinky's going to get a screen and goes back the other way. Pump fakes and now kicks it back out to Sanborn. Sanborn looking for an outlet, gives it over to Hennessy. Hennessy has it taken away momentarily, now goes back down low to Ford, posting up, spinning around, and no good on that one. Might have been tipped into the air, and Carson comes away with the rebound, now going back the other direction. Carson into the low left block, going to give it over to Taylor up top. Taylor at the top of the arc, picks up her dribble, goes down low to the posting up Stalker, and now we'll see a foul being assessed on the floor. I believe this one's going to go against DeFord as well, and that'll be her second personal, team second here in the second quarter, as Clark and Gossett are going to check in for the Fighting Muskies. And I believe we're going to see a timeout on the floor as well. Coach Fox wants to talk this one over, so while they take a break, we'll take one right with them, and we will be right back. Muskies up 41-30 here on the Orbit Media Sports Network with 3:21 left in the second.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Welcome back to the ANSI Steel Center as Moses spots up for three for the Muskies, and she makes that one from the left wing. Gets the Muskies back up by 14 points now, their largest lead of the evening, 44-30 with 3 minutes remaining in the first half against Mount Union. Make that a 12-point game once again as Erin White turns around and goes off the glass. Gets that one to go for her 8th point, 44-32, as Fenimore's got it right wing for the Muskies. Dana Parkman, who just checked in off the timeout, goes down low, now kicking back out to Gossett. Back around the perimeter to Fenimore on the right wing. Parkman now trying to post up on Tinky. Parkman's going to take Tinky one-on-one, turns it back down and goes back out to Gossett. 8 seconds on the shot clock, 2:40 on the game clock. Gossett spotting up for a long three, and that one's good! Gossett finding her range tonight off of her second three-point make. Gets the Muskies out to a 15-point lead, 47-32, with 2:26 remaining in the second quarter over the visiting Purple Raiders. Hess is going to take the ball off the handoff, and we'll see a foul on the floor. This one going against Dana Parkman for hand checking on the play. That'll be her second personal, team 4th, as Carson's going to check back in. Parkman goes over to the bench for the Muskies. Tinky and Hess being taken out for the Purple Raiders as Bartozowitz and Ferguson check back in. Ferguson inbounds it and almost takes the ball right back from Sanborn. Sanborn with the ball, tries to get it to the cutting Bartozowitz, but we're going to see a foul being assessed to Carson on the play. And that will send Bartozowitz to the free throw line here with 5 team fouls going against the Muskies. And she will shoot 2 shots. First attempt is good for her 6th point of the evening. Subs coming in for the Muskies as Bazanson and Smith will check in. Fenimore and Carson will go right back to the bench as Moses will stay in. 2:13 remaining in the second quarter. Muskies up 14, 47-33. Second attempt by Bartozowitz is good, so make it a 13-point game, 47-34. As Smith will bring it up for the Muskies. She goes over to Gossett. Now over to Bazanson, trying to get past the half-court trap. Katie Smith now driving into the front court, gives it over to Gossett. Half-court trap is broken, as we will see, I believe that's going to be Fenimore getting set to check back in for the Muskies. Moses goes back over to Gossett, left wing. Gossett with the head fake, drives, goes off the glass, no good. Lazy shot there, rebound goes to White. Now going back the other way is Bartozowitz. Bartozowitz, ball right wing. Gives it back over to White. White goes all the way back around the perimeter to Hennessy. Now down low looking for Sanborn. Sanborn with the reverse layup, no good. Rebound goes to Hennessy, and she kicks it back out to Ferguson. Ferguson, high right point, going down low to White, who's posting up. White goes with the spin around jumper, no good. This time rebound goes to Clark for the Muskies. A minute 20 left in the second quarter as the Muskies lead by 13 points, 47-34. Bazanson for a heat check three. That one goes off the rim, no good. Rebound goes back over to Sanborn. She kicks it up across the court to Bartozowicz. She goes back right down low to Sanborn, who goes off the glass rim, no good. Rebound goes to the Muskies, and Smith will bring it back up. Smith gives it over to Gossett. Gossett with the ball at the left point, and now we're going to see a foul being assessed to Bartozowicz on the play. Got a little too handsy trying to guard Gossett on the play. Subs coming in for both sides, as we will see Morissette checking back in for the Purple Raiders, and Celeste Clark, the freshman from Olentangy, is going to check in for her first action for the Muskies. Inbound will go to Bazanson with a fresh shot clock. 54 seconds left in the second quarter. Bazanson kicks it over to Gossett, right wing. Gossett looking for an outlet, going to go all the way over to Clark. Clark now going to Bazanson, and another foul being assessed on the floor. This one will go against Erin White. That will be her first personal, team fourth for Mount Union. One team foul away from going back to the charity stripe for the Muskies, as Bazanson will inbound from the baseline. Bazanson inbounds it to Stephanie Clark, and now right back to Bazanson on the handoff. She goes into the lane with the underhanded layup. That one's no good. Got to watch the elbows there by Erin White, as she almost took the head off of Clark, but brings the ball up the floor. Ferguson spotting up for three, and that one's no good. Rebound goes to Bartozowicz, putting up a lazy shot. Rebound goes to White, and White gets it to go off the glass. No shot clock now, as the Muskies can hold for the final shot with 19 seconds remaining. 47-36 is the Muskies' lead. 11 points, looking for another make going into the halftime break. Smith with the ball for the Muskies, waiting for her shot. Running a little bit of isolation here, going back the other way, off the glass, and that one's no good. Rebound goes to Morissette, and that one is going to be no good, as the clock will expire, and the Muskies go into the halftime break up 11 points over Mount Union as they try to break their tie for fourth place in the conference. Muskies up 47-36 at the halftime break. Let's go now live to Logan Weaver, who is down on the sideline with head coach Beth Fox of the Fighting Muskies.
Guys, I'm here with Coach Fox. Coach, a great first half. What do you need to do to keep it up in the second?
Oh, I don't know about great. We gave up 36 points in one half, and that's it's not great defense. So we got to do a better job box now. We got to take away their second shot opportunities, and offensively, we got to keep crashing the boards.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Logan. Live with Coach Fox down on the sideline as the Muskies go into the break, up by 11 points once again, 47-36 over the Purple Raiders. Both teams coming in with an identical 4-4 mark in the OAC. Purple Raiders 9-6 overall. The Muskies 8-7 in their overall season this year, but a good half overall, I think, offensively for the Muskies. Defensively, as Coach Fox said, not what they wanted, but they'll have to improve things a little bit more in the second half. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and take a short break and send it back to the studio, and we will be right back with your halftime report. Muskies up 11 at the break.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
The Forum, we're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant, because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Here on the campus
Your
of
one-stop
Muskingum University, where the Fighting Muskie women's basketball team finds themselves up 11 points at the halftime break, 47-36 over the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders. Both teams coming in with a 4-4 mark in the OAC, tied for 4th place in the conference, and the Muskies looking like they want that tiebreaker here over Mount Union in a tough first half battle. Joined up in the broadcast booth with Joe Scott, I'm Chris Morgan, bringing you your halftime report. And Joe, when you really look at the way the game has kind of unfolded, it's been pretty much all Muskies from the start of things. Got off to an early lead and haven't really let that relinquish at all throughout the remainder of the first half.
And we checked the depth chart. Dana Parkman is 5'7", a guard, but she's playing like a big man, playing like she's 6'7". She's been a great spark in the starting lineup tonight. She's gone to the offensive boards, defensive boards. She's stealing balls to create easy baskets for the Fighting Muskies. So they're playing great right now. She's playing great. The team's playing great. They're making their open three-point shots, which sometimes they struggle with. Some bad shots here and there, but they're making easy shots. They're getting the ball down low a lot to get those easy shots down there, and they're just playing great team ball right now in the first half.
And that was the big surprise coming into the contest between these two. Coach Fox deciding to change things up with the starting lineup, went with Dana Parkman and Haley Stocker in the starting 5 instead of Stephanie Clark and Alex Carson, and the move has really been working out so far with this team. They've been able to isolate Mallory Taylor a little bit more on the low block without having Clark there to kind of clog things up down low at the same time, and they've been able to move Carson to more of a bench role for this game. The way she's been playing lately, only shooting about 35%, I think that's going to suit her a little bit better while she finds her shot, and she can really be the top dog with that second unit, with Parkman moving up to the starting 5.
Yeah, I mean, she came off the bench, she made one three-pointer, and then she made another clutch three-pointer during that stretch. She's been a great contribution defensively as well, coming off the bench. So she's, even though she's not starting tonight, she's doing a great job coming off the bench and creating a spark for this team.
And I really think that both teams, they were early on trying to find out what kind of a game they wanted to play. The Muskies got into their groove first and really took off from there. We didn't see really anybody score in the first minute and a half of the ball game, but then the Muskies started getting some buckets. They brought in that second unit. Carson made that big three, and then we saw Parkman really start to go to work. We'll talk a little bit more about her later on, but overall, I think offensively, this has been one heck of a half for this Muskie women's basketball team.
Yes, it has, and there was a little point in time that the Purple Raiders their own, catching up to them, I think only down by 6. Then Haley Stocker said, hey, I got you guys. So she made a three-pointer, another easy basket, and she took control of that part of the game and got the Muskies back up 10. And now they're having a great first half right now, and now let's see what they can do in that second half.
The second half is going to be key for this Muskie team, as finishing has been kind of their struggle throughout the entirety of this season so far. So that I'm sure that's Coach Fox's message in the locker room. You have to finish, and that's what she's going to be telling the girls at this halftime break. For right now, though, up 11 points, 47-36 over the Purple Raiders, but overall, just got to keep going in that second half if you want to come away with the victory. With that, we are going to take a short break and send it back to the studio. But when we come back, we'll take a closer look at the players that stood out individually in the first half of action here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Your one-stop shop for all things computer-related is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website, website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the latest antivirus software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Welcome back to the NC Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University for today's halftime report as the Muskie women's basketball team holds an 11-point lead over the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders 47-36 at the halftime break. Joined up in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott and down on the sideline by Logan Weaver for today's contest. I'm Chris Morgan bringing you today's broadcast live on the Orbit Media Sports Network. And Joe, when you look at which players really stood out for this Muskie team, it was really a lot of Dana Parkman getting that first start of the season. She leads all scorers for the Muskies right now with 10 points. And as big of a help that we expected Mallory Taylor to be, we expected the Muskies to really go through her offensively. She's only had 6 points on the contest so far, so this Muskie team has done a good job of picking up the slack where Mallory Taylor has been kind of shut down on the offensive end by Aaron White defensively for the Purple Raiders.
Yeah, Mallory Taylor's been shut down, but Alexander Carson has been stepping up her game coming off the bench. Haley Stalker's having a great game so far, and again, our main person tonight, Dana Parkman, making her start tonight, which was a surprising move, which looks like she had a good practice. Coach had trust in her, and now she's making her mark here tonight and having a great game so far.
And that's exactly what the Muskies need to see from her going into this game. Dana Parkman, obviously the big change in the starting lineup. She came into the starting five along with Haley Stalker, while Carson and Stephanie Clark went down to a bench role for this Muskie team, and Parkman has not shied away from her opportunity here tonight. She's got those 10 points like we talked about. She's getting down low and getting dirty on the rebounds. She's got 2 boards on the night. She's even got herself a couple of blocks, even though the stat sheet only has her credited for 1. I've got her credited for 2 up here from our tally up in the booth. So she's been doing a fantastic job of doing the little things that the Muskies need to do to get themselves the lead, and they're going to need her to continue that in the second half.
Yeah, it's all about doing the little things, especially in basketball. And she's doing little things. She's going after loose balls. She's stealing the ball. She's playing hard, getting down and dirty. She's having a great game so far. Another player that I think stepped up in that first half was Morgan Gossett. She had a very deep three-pointer near the end of that half. We didn't think it was going in, but she drained it, so she had a good first half coming off the bench. So a great start for the Muskies, and they're hoping to continue that in the second half.
And the good thing that we've seen from Carson in that first half, the selective shot taking. She's only taken 2 so far in the game. She's 2 for 2 from the field, both of them coming from beyond the 3-point line. So she's got 6 points of her own. That's exactly what I wanted to see from her. Be more selective, and it is working in her favor tonight. And this is what she's going to have to do in the second half. Continue to be patient, get her shots when she needs them, and if she can do that, then she's going to be okay. On the other side, for Mount Union, Aaron White, obviously the leading scorer for tonight's contest, as Bartosiewicz has kind of been shut down on the perimeter with only 7 points of her own. Aaron White's got 12, so the Muskies going to have to keep an eye out for her in the second half, as they're going to try to keep her on edge and make sure that Mallory Taylor can do good things defensively as well. With that, let's go ahead and send it to the Geyer studio, where Ryan Mack will bring your Orbit News update, and we will be right back here on the Orbit TV coverage with more halftime coverage. Muskies up 47-36 at the halftime break.
Visit us at the Crumb & Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb & Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
The Forum, we're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant, because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic. with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Your one-stop shop for all things computer-related is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website, website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the latest antivirus software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Fighting Muskies hold an 11-point lead at the halftime break, 47-36 over the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders in today's OAC women's basketball matchup presented by Orbit Media Sports. Once again, I'm Chris Morgan, joined up in the booth by Joe Scott and down on the sideline by Logan Weaver. Here presenting tonight's contest live on Orbit TV Channel 9, as well as the Orbit Media TV YouTube live stream and on the radio feed at WMCO 90.7. And Joe, as we get set for the opening portion of the second half, what's going to happen for this Fighting Muskie team up 11, and they were looking to finish this game out in the second half of action?
Great ball movement to get easy shots and cutting down on turnovers. They only have 4 turnovers in that first half, which is really good for them. 8 assists. They're sharing the ball, which is a good thing. They're hoping to continue that and just get easy shots, no bad shots coming, and hopefully those players that we talked about in the beginning will continue to step up and make a big impact in the game.
So with that, let's go ahead and send it back for another short break, and we'll be right back with second half action here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
Welcome back for second half action inside the ANC Steel Center as the Fighting Muskie women's basketball team takes on the Mount Union Purple Raiders here at home on the Orbit Media Sports Network. Muskies and Purple Raiders trading blows to start the second half as another lay-in goes in for Aaron White of Mount Union, and we're back to an 11-point deficit, 51-40 with 8.5 minutes to go in the third quarter of action. Once again, I'm Chris Morgan, joined up in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott and on the sideline by Logan Weaver as Dana Parkman's got the ball for the Muskies, giving it right over to Olivia Bazanson. Bazanson trying to find her way into the lane, goes with a floater, and that one will roll around the rim and fall. Back to a 13-point lead for the Muskies, 53-40 with 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Raiders go back down low and kick it right back out to Bartozowicz. Bartozowicz for a step-back three. Comes up empty on that one, only hitting the backboard. And the rebound goes to the Muskies. Bringing it back up is Katie Smith. Smith goes over to the left wing to Stocker. Now down to low to Mallory Taylor. Taylor turns around and puts it up off the glass and good. Muskies lead is out to 15, tying their largest lead of the ball game. 55-40 as Bartozowicz gets it for the Raiders. And now a timeout being called over on the Purple Raider bench by head coach Susie Bennett. And Joe, you look at the way that this second half started, both teams just kind of trying to trade blows, figure each other back out, but this Muskie team continuing to do the things that made them successful in that first half.
Yep, they're sharing the ball. They're getting the ball up the court fast, getting easy shots. It's working out for them right now. Got off to a fast start, and having Coach Bennett call a timeout, so it's working right now.
And it appears that we're going to see a substitution coming in after the timeout for Mount Union, as I think I saw Casey Morissette going over to the scorer's table to check in, and she will indeed for Mount Union. So she will come in, as I believe they sent Hennessy over to the bench. Anna Alkery, who we haven't seen for a little bit here, inbounds it now to a posting up Morissette, and she gets that one to go off the glass. Back to a 13-point game, 55-42. 7:25 left on the third quarter clock as Stocker spots up for three. That one no good. Rebound goes to White. White going back up the floor now to Bartozowicz as she brings it over, now gives it over to Alkery. Alkery swings it over to the left corner, now back down low to White. White, no one between her and the basket, and she gets an easy layup there as Stocker didn't rotate over defensively. White's 16th point of the contest gets it back to an 11-point deficit for the Raiders. 55-44 as the Muskies are going to get set to send in Carson, Clark, and Gossett. The big three off the bench tonight for Coach Fox as Taylor's got the ball at the high left point. Now swinging back around to Bazanson, who spots up for three, and that one's good. Nothing but net. Muskies back up by 14, 58-44 off of Bazanson's 7th point of the night. As the Purple Raiders go back down low to Morissette, popping it back out to Bartozowicz. Nothing on that one, and the rebound goes right into the outstretched arms of Aaron White. And now a foul is going to be called on the floor. This one will be a non-shooting foul against Haley Stocker. That'll be her second personal, team first, as more subs come in. The 3 for the Muskies, as well as 2 coming in for the Purple Raiders, as Rachel Tinke checks in for her first action of the second half, along with Liz Jones coming in. Jones going to set a off-ball screen, trying to get Sanborn open as the inbound goes all the way back up top to Morissette. Morissette gets a screen from Sanborn, now trying to drive baseline. Goes with a reverse layup, nothing on that one. Rebound goes to Gossett, who just checked in for the Muskies. Katie Smith brings the ball back up for Coach Fox's Fighting Muskie team. Goes over to Carson in the left wing. Carson getting the ball over to Bazanson now in the right corner. Ball is tipped away as they tried to go down low to Clark as she was trying to post up on Jones, and it will be tipped away by Morissette going out of bounds. Muskies will keep possession and inbound from the baseline with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. 6:06 left on the game clock as the inbound goes all the way over Gotzett's head. The Muskies were able to go across half court to complete the inbound, but now set themselves back a little bit with 10 seconds on the shot clock, and Katie Smith setting up a new play. Smith trying to find an outlet, goes over to Bazanson. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Bazanson trying to get something off, goes with the floater, no good, and they're going to call a travel call before the shot, and that will be a turnover going back over to the Purple Raiders as Alkery will bring it up from the point guard position. Down 14 points to the Muskies, 58-44, with 5:45 remaining in the third quarter. Morissette with the ball, right wing, hands it off to Tinke. Tinke takes her spot on the right wing, now gives it over. Sanborn spotting up from the elbow, and that one's good. A quick 2-point make from the right elbow for Sanborn. Her 4th point of the night gets it back to a 12-point game, 58-46, 5.5 left to go in the third quarter. Another Carson on the night. That's her 3rd already. Just picking up that back drag foot on those pump fakes, and the officials aren't letting her have it.
Mm-hmm. So she's been struggling with that tonight. Like you said, that 3rd travel tonight. She's pump faking that first shot. Sometimes you got to trust your first shot, trust your first instincts.
So the Raiders go back the other way as Tinke's got it in the right wing, trying to find an outlet. She gets it right back after giving it over to Jones. Now giving it back over Morissette, and she's going to draw the foul on the shot, driving down the baseline. And that will send her to the free throw line for 2 shots, trying to get this back to a 10-point lead for the Muskies, with 2 free throw attempts coming for Morissette of the Purple Raiders. Foul being assessed to Stephanie Clark, her 2nd personal, team 2nd here in the third quarter. First attempt from Morissette is good, gets it back to an 11-point game, 58-47, 5:12 left on the third quarter clock. And the second attempt goes off the rim, no good. Rebound will go to Clark for the Muskies, keeping the score right where it is as Carson brings the ball up the floor. Carson trying to set up the play, goes over to the left wing. Going to get a screen from Bezanson, now trying to get over to the right wing. Goes over to Katie Smith as she drives baseline, kicks it back out, looking for Carson. And the ball just sails out of bounds after the misfire by Smith on the pass. And the Purple Raiders will get the ball back as Moses is going to check in for Smith as she'll go to the bench to have an earful from Coach Fox. And coming in for the Purple Raiders is Kelsey Scott as Sanborn goes back to the bench. Alkery gives it over to Scott, who just checked in. She's got it, now gives it back over to Alkery. Alkery driving into the lane, going baseline, keeping her dribble, kicks it out to Scott. Scott for a long three off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Clark and the Muskies. Moses bringing it back up for the Muskie offense, trying to set something up with 4.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Carson with the ball at the high right point, looking to set up the play. 58-47, Muskies lead. 4:25 now left on the game clock. 15 on the shot clock as Bezanson's got it. Step back for three, and that one's good! Stocker knew it as soon as the ball left Bezanson's hands, and the Muskies are back out to a 15-point lead, 61-47. Quick three from the corner, and that one's good by Morissette, as that one will cut it back down to 11 points from 14. And I can't believe what I just saw. The entire Mount Union bench just dabbed after that shot, but that's whatever.
They're still dabbing?
Apparently the dab is still a thing as Carson's going to bring the ball up for the Muskies. She steps back from 18 feet, no good. Rebound goes to Clark, and she'll go off the glass, rattles around the rim, and good. As it's back out to a 13-point Muskie lead, 63-50 off of Clark's 6th point of the evening. Ball almost taken away as Tinky spots up for three. That one's off the rim, no good. Rebound is going to go to Carson. Carson brings it up. 3:26 remaining in the third quarter. Carson with a floating layup, no good. Starting to fall in love with her shot now as Alkery's going to bring it up for the Purple Raiders. She's going to give it over to a wide open Liz Jones, who goes off the glass and good. Joe, you thought there was a travel on that one, but the officials didn't see it. As the Muskies bring the ball back up 11 points, 63-52 with 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Subs set to come in for both sides as we're going to see Stocker along with Mallory Taylor and Parkman all check in for the Muskies. 3-point attempt by Bezanson was no good as Tinky gets it in the right wing. Now back over to Morissette. Morissette into the lane, and we'll see a foul being assessed on the floor against the Muskies. That'll be their third team foul of the third quarter, third personal on Carson. So the subs come in as well as 3 coming in for Mount Union as Ferguson, White, and Bartozowitz are all going to come in. Only Tinky and Scott remain on the floor. And now Katie Smith is going to check in as well for the Muskies as Carson goes back to the bench. With 3 fouls, I think that's a good move by Coach Fox just to keep her readily available in case they need her late as the inbound is completed. But to Bartozowitz, looking for an outlet pass, trying to get it, now kicks it back out to Scott. Scott losing her footing, kicks it over to Ferguson, and a travel being called this time as Ferguson picked up 2 feet before getting the shot off. And now the Muskies will get the ball back on the turnover, up 11 points, 63-52, with 2.5 minutes in the third quarter. Smith brings the ball up for the Muskies into the front court. Looking to set up the play, gives it over to Moses on the left wing. Moses down low quickly to Stocker. Stocker has it go off of her hands and unable to save it. As a sub comes it back in for the Purple Raiders. That's going to be Sanborn checking back in for Scott. Sanborn inbounds it, and Ferguson will bring the ball up into the front court to set up the play. 2:16 left on the third quarter clock. Muskies up by 11, 63-52 as Tinky's got it. She gives it over to Bartozowitz, right wing. Now setting an off-ball screen to get it to Sanborn. Sanborn has it at the high right point, looking for an outlet, and she's going to hand it off to Bartozowitz. Bartozowitz spots up off the screen, and that one's good. Not a three-pointer, though. Has her foot now a 9-point game, 63-54, with 1:50 remaining in the third quarter. Parkman with the ball right wing for the Muskies, trying to go down low to Taylor. Taylor spotting up, and she's going to try to go off the glass. No good on the block by White, but we will see a foul being assessed to White on the play. That'll be her second personal, team first. in the third quarter for Mount Union, and Mallory Taylor will go to the line for 2 shots. First attempt rattles around the rim, no good. Bezanson comes back in for the Muskies as Moses goes over to the bench. And the score remains right where it is. Now Taylor makes it a 10-point game once again off of the second make, splitting the pair, makes it 64-54 in favor of the Muskies. 1:43 remaining on the third quarter clock as the Purple Raiders take back over. Ferguson bringing the ball up. She's going to get a screen from White, trying to get past Bezanson. Good defense by the junior for the Muskies. Quick three by Tinky over in the right corner. No good. Rebound goes to Taylor. Bezanson gets the ball, bringing it up the floor. She'll give it over to Caitlin Smith, right wing. Now down low on the right block to Taylor. Taylor's going to be fouled on the play as Tinky tried to come in and get the ball away from the senior for the Muskies. That'll be a foul on the floor, and actually they're going to call the foul against White for reaching in. So we'll see a sub come in as Tinky's going to check out, and I believe we're going to see Hennessy check back in for Mount Union. Third personal foul for White, second team foul as Taylor spots up for 3, no good. Rebound will go to Parkman, and now Taylor's got it on the ground. Jump ball being called, and the possession arrow is in favor of the Purple Raiders. So they will get the ball back with 1:12 remaining in the third quarter, and the Muskies up 10, 64-54. Now Alkery's going to check back in for Mount Union as Ferguson goes to the bench. Going back to the starting point guard position for the Purple Raiders is Coach Susie Bennett. Alkery bringing the ball up. She'll be guarded by Smith. Gets the ball over to Sanborn, kicks it out. Now back over to Hennessy. Hennessy left wing, gets a screen, gives it over to White. White now over to Bartosiewicz, setting the screen, and Bartosiewicz is going to try to drive into the lane, and a foul being called. That one will go against Parkman on the play. That'll be her third personal, team fourth for the Muskies. 1 foul to give as Fenimore is going to check in. She'll come in for Parkman as she goes over to the bench. Hennessy will inbound with 54.4 remaining in the third quarter. Hennessy inbounds it, then gets it right back. Trying to go down low to White, and Taylor's right there to take the ball away. Some bodies hit the floor on the play as Taylor and White got tied up with each other and then tied up with Hennessy trying to get to the ball. No fouls being assessed on the play. Officials letting them play it out. Incidental contact. And the Purple Raiders will keep the ball to inbound right in front of the Muskie student section. Inbound is completed to Alkery. Now back over to Sanborn. Sanborn posting up on Taylor. Goes off the glass and good. And the foul. 64-56 is the Muskies' lead pending the completion of this three-point play opportunity by Sanborn for the Purple Raiders with 43 seconds left in the third quarter. This could be a big momentum swing if the Purple Raiders can pull this one off. Free throw by Sanborn is good. Gets it back to a 7-point game, 64-57. Muskies lead with 36 seconds remaining and the ball as Katie Smith has it. Pump fakes, goes to the floater, and a foul from the free throw line, and that will send Katie Smith to the charity stripe for 2 shots. Good job on the pump fake there by the junior point guard for the Muskies, and now she will get a chance to get us another couple of points up on the board. Smith's first attempt is off the rim and falls in with the friendly shooter's roll. Gets it back to a 8-point game, 65-57 with 31.7 remaining. Second attempt is also good, back to a 9-point lead for the Muskies. 66-57, 29 seconds, and Bezanson's going to intercept the pass. Now the Muskies can hold for the final shot. No shot clock, 23 seconds left on the game clock. Stocker's got the ball up top, gives it over to Smith. Smith retreats back to the high left point, looking to set up the last second shot. 15 seconds left on the game clock. She'll be guarded by Bartosiewicz. Smith looking to set up the play. Looks like they're going to go back to the same play that they tried to end the first quarter on. Double screen coming from Taylor and Stocker. Ball goes out of bounds, last touched by the Purple Raiders, so an inbound from in front of the Muskie bench is coming from Smith with 3.1 seconds left on the third quarter clock. Scott is going to check in for the Purple Raiders. The better defender on the night than Sanborn has been, trying to D up on the three-point shooter Stocker. Inbound goes directly to Taylor. Taylor goes off the glass and good, and the foul! Mallory Taylor converts the bucket with 1.8 seconds left on the game clock in the third quarter. And now we'll have a chance to add one more at the charity stripe, with the Muskies leading 68-57 pending this free throw. The attempt is good. Now back to a 12-point Muskie lead, 69-57. And the shot from Alkari is off in time but ends up well short. And the Muskies end the third quarter on a high note, getting back out to a 12-point lead, 69-57 over the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders. We'll take a short break and send it back to the studio, and we'll be right back for fourth quarter action here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
The Forum, we're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant, because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Welcome back to the ANC Steel Center. Word coming from Alliance that the Mount Union men's basketball team comes from behind to beat the Muskie men by 3 points, 85-82 in OAC men's basketball action. The women here going back in favor of the Muskies with a 12-point Muskie lead, 69-57 at the start of the fourth quarter. Bazanson with the pump fake goes off the glass, no good. Rebound will go to Hess going back the other way as we just get the fourth quarter underway here from inside the ANC Steel Center. Raiders moving the ball around, and it eventually finds the hands of Hess, and she shoots another three-point make, and it's back to a 9-point game, 69-60 with 9.5 minutes remaining in the ball game. Skylar Fenimore, who just checked in for the Muskies after the third quarter break, gets it down low to Stephanie Clark, kicking it back out to Bazanson. Bazanson drives into the lane, loses her footing, and we're going to see a foul on the floor. This one going against Liz Jones for the Purple Raiders. That'll be her third personal, team first in the fourth quarter. Subs coming in for the Purple Raiders as Sanborn and Hennessy will check back in. Fenimore will inbound from the baseline for the Muskies, setting up the baseline play, getting the inbound into Katie Smith with a fresh shot clock as she's going to get a screen from Gossett, turns it down, going the other way, dishes it down low on a beautiful pass to Stephanie Clark, and she converts the layup to get the Muskies back up 11, 71-60 with 9 minutes remaining in the contest. Sanborn driving into the lane and has the ball taken away from her off of her knee, and it will go out of bounds. Ball goes back over to the Muskies on the turnover. 8:55 remaining on the fourth quarter clock as Coach Bennett not very happy over there right now on the Purple Raider bench, trying to inspire her girls to come from behind here with the Muskies up 11. Going over to Fenimore on the left wing are the Muskies, now going over to Gossett. Gossett switching places with Fenimore, now going to Bazanson left corner. Bazanson with the ball, trying to get it down low to Clark, posting up in the left corner, now going back out to Gossett. Gossett goes back to Katie Smith, 7 seconds remaining on the shot clock. She gets a screen from Clark. Now Smith spots up for three, and that one's good! Katie Smith with her 10th point of the night gets it back out to a 14-point Muskie lead, 74-60. Going down into the lane, and a charging foul being called against Morissette. Muskies with a good defensive stand there, drawing the charge, and that'll be the second team foul against the Purple Raiders. And Coach Bennett wants another timeout as she is not very happy with the effort offensively from the girls right now. And as they take a timeout, we will take one right with them, and we will be right back here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. Rachel Tinkey set to check back in for the Purple Raiders after the timeout. Muskies up 14, 74-60.
Your one-stop shop for all things computer-related is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website, website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the latest antivirus software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Muskie women's basketball up 14 points, 74-60 here in fourth quarter action against Mount Union in OAC women's basketball action here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. Katie Smith drives into the lane and has a foul called against the Purple Raiders. Not sure if this is going to be in the act of shooting or not. Looks like the officials will call it on the floor. So the Muskies will inbound from their own baseline with a new shot clock. The third team foul for the Purple Raiders here in the fourth quarter. Going back to their first quarter ways, getting in a lot of foul trouble early on as the Muskies give it over to Fenimore. Now back down low to Clark on the low right block. Clark sends it back out to Smith. Smith spots up from the three-point line. Rebound goes to Tinky for the Purple Raiders off the miss. And going back the other way is Hess. Now back to Tinky, who spots up for three off the rim. No good. Rebound is going to go first to the Muskies, and then we're going to see a over-the-back penalty being assessed to Hennessy for Mount Union. And the Muskies will get the ball back with subs getting set to check in as Stocker, Carson, and Taylor will all check in. Fenimore, Clark, and Gossett will all go to the bench for the Fighting Muskies as they lead by 14 points, 74-60, with 7.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter of action. Smith gives it over to Taylor on the left wing as she goes back over to Carson. Carson on the right point, giving it back down low, and now keeping it herself. Tries to go down low to Stocker. A kicked ball violation should have been called as it went off the foot of Hennessy. Officials didn't see it, though, and the Raiders go back the other way. Bartosiewicz with the ball in the right wing, going to get a screen. Now going back down low and off the glass, and good is Sanborn. Gets it back to a 12-point game, 74-62, 7 minutes remaining in the fourth. Smith brings it up for the Muskies, gives it over to Bezanson, right wing. Bezanson goes over to Carson. Carson for another long three, off the front of the rim, no good. Her first miss from three-point land tonight as the rebound goes to Hess, and now she'll send it up the court to Tinky. Tinky down low to Hennessy, ball tipped away out of bounds. Last touched by Mallory Taylor of the Muskies. Good job coming in and taking the ball away from a wide open, at the time, Hennessy down low in the block as Hess will check out and Ferguson comes back in for Mount Union. 6:42 remaining in the contest. Inbound goes to Bartosiewicz. Bartosiewicz floating layup from the baseline, and that one rattles off the rim and no good. And now Bartosiewicz is going to try to take the ball away from Stocker. Stocker shields the ball and keeps it for herself. Going back the other way are the Muskies. Carson with the ball, driving into the lane, trying to find an opening. Turnaround jumper, and that one's no good. Rebound is going to go to Stocker, though, as she keeps it. Now back down low to Carson. Carson with the pump fake off the glass rim, no good. Rebound goes to Sanborn. And now we're going to see a reaching in foul being assessed against Carson. That will be her fourth personal, team first here in the fourth quarter. Carson will go to the bench as Parkman checks in for the Muskies. Parkman's been the big force for the Muskies from the perimeter tonight as she got the surprise start in favor of Carson, playing good defense and offense as Bartosiewicz is going to make a elbow jumper to get the game back within 10 points with 6 minutes left to go. 74-64 off of Bartosiewicz, 11th point of the evening. Bezanson with the ball, gives it up top to Stocker. Back down low to Taylor. Taylor's going to go off the glass, no good, but a foul being called against Sanborn. That will send Mallory Taylor back to the charity stripe off of Sanborn's third personal foul, fifth team foul. The Muskies already in the bonus, and they will shoot free throws on every foul the remainder of the way. First attempt from Taylor is nothing but net and will fall. Sub coming in for the Purple Raiders is DeFord as Sanborn will check out. 75-64, Muskies up by 11 points. And it will stay at 11 points as Taylor misses the second free throw attempt. Rebound goes to the Purple Raiders, going back the other way. Tinky to Bartosiewicz for three, and off the rim, no good. Another rebound for Parkman. She went up to get that one. Bartosiewicz hits the deck trying to reach in to get the ball.
May have got away with the carry.
Definitely may have gotten away with a carry as the Purple Raider bench was calling for it, but the officials not seeing it as Taylor goes down low trying to find Stocker. She wanted a holding foul on the play. Might have been a makeup call for the missed carry by the officials. And now we'll see another sub coming in as Tori Rapek is going to check in for her first action today. Something we thought we weren't going to see this late in the ball game, as Rapek is the 5th leading three-point shooter in the OAC. We thought we would have seen her a lot more early on, but she comes in here in the 4th trying to get a three-point jolt as she's going to get the ball at the top of the arc. She gives it over to DeFord. Now DeFord gives it over to Bartosiewicz, left wing. Bartosiewicz stepping back, and that one's no good. Wouldn't have been a three anyway, and the rebound goes to Mallory Taylor. 5 minutes left, halfway through the 4th quarter of action, as Smith brings the ball up with an 11-point Muskie lead. Bezanson goes down low to Taylor. Taylor on the right block, trying to drive into the lane. Gets blocked on the play by DeFord, and she picks up the ball going back the other way in transition. She gives it over to Rapek. Rapek for a long three, off the rim, no good. A foul on the floor. They're going to say Mallory Taylor went over the back to try to get that ball. Not quite sure where that foul's coming for.
I don't know if I like that one.
Either way, it will be her second personal foul, second team foul, and now she will go to the bench along with Stocker as Gossett and Clark will check back in. 75-64 Muskies lead, 4:47 remaining in the ball game. Inbound will go to Sanborn, who just checked back in. She tries to go off the glass, no good, but she will draw the foul on Gossett, and that will send her back to the charity stripe for 2 more shots. Third team foul, second personal for Gossett, as Sanborn gets set for her first attempt. First free throw from Sanborn is off the rim, no good. Keeps the score right where it is with an 11-point Muskie lead, 75-64, with 4:44 remaining in the ball game. Second free throw attempt from Sanborn is good. Back to a 10-point game, 75-65. And here comes the full court press for the Purple Raiders. And now Sanborn's going to be called for another foul. That'll be her 4th personal, team 6th. And it will send the Muskies back to the charity stripe with Katie Smith set to attempt 2 free throws.
We're getting at that point of the game where who's going to make their foul shots, who's going to make those clutch free throws to ice the game. Very important part right now.
Smith sets up from the line, and the first attempt is off the back of the rim, no good. That's exactly what Coach Fox doesn't want to see. If they're going to get some free point opportunities, she wants the Muskies to be able to nail them. As White is going to check back in, and DeFord goes back over to the bench. Sanborn still in the game this late in the contest. Coach Bennett not worried about the 4 fouls at this point in time. Second attempt is good for Smith. Gets it back to an 11-point lead, 76-65. 11 points now on the evening for Katie Smith. 4:35 remaining in the ball game as Sanborn is going to look for an outlet, gives it over to Ferguson. Ferguson gets a screen from White, drives into the lane, goes off the glass, blocked from behind by Clark. Ball will go out of bounds, last touched by Bezanson according to the officials, and the ball will stay with the Purple Raiders with 15 seconds on the shot clock. A good block defensively by Stephanie Clark, getting in the right position to turn away that shot. And now that one's going to be tipped into the air by Katie Smith on the shot by Bartosiewicz. And that will be a shooting foul being assessed to Smith. They're going to give it to Parkman. Her 4th personal, team 4th, and Bartosiewicz goes to the line. Free throw attempt is good.
Some key Muskies in foul trouble right now, but she's leaving Parkman in the game. You trust her.
Alkery coming back in for Mount Union as Ferguson goes back to the bench. The way Parkman's been playing right now, I wouldn't take her out at this point either. Good decision by Coach Fox. Second attempt is no good. Rebound is taken in by the Purple Raiders, and the score will stay right where it is, 76-66 with 4:20 left in the ball game. Rapek now goes back around the perimeter, gives it back to Alkery, now back over to White on the left wing. White goes down low to Sanborn. Sanborn picked up her dribble and goes with a layup attempt. Goes off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Parkman. Parkman going back the other way, gives it over to Gossett. Now back up to the high point to Smith. Smith gives it over to Bezanson, right wing. 3:58 remaining, back up to Parkman up top. Parkman going to take on Bartosiewicz, goes back to Smith, left corner for 3, and that's one's off the rim, no good. Rebound being taken in by both the Muskies and the Purple Raiders. Possession arrow in favor of the Purple Raiders on the jump ball as Mallory Taylor's going to check back in for Gossett. And Carson's going to check back in. She'll come in for Bezanson. So now the two big men for the Fighting Muskies, Taylor and Clark, on the floor together for the first time tonight, as Alkery is going to bring the ball up for the Purple Raiders. Still a 10-point lead for the Muskies, 76-66. About 3.5 minutes remaining as Alkery is going to take the ball into the lane. Tries to go off the glass, blocked from behind by Taylor, and it will go out of bounds. Last touch by Mal as the Purple Raiders keep possession. 16 seconds on the shot clock as the Purple Raiders will inbound from the baseline. Alkery sends it in to Bartosiewicz, right back to Alkery, almost taken away by Smith, as now Alkery goes to the left elbow, kicks it back out to Rapik. Rapik with a step-back jumper, and that one's good. Not from three-point range, though. Only a 2-point make for Rapik, her first make of the night. Gets it to a 8-point Muskie lead, 76-68 with almost 3 minutes left. Muskies gotta be able to make their shots late here as Clark is gonna go off the glass, no good. Rebound is gonna go to the Purple Raiders, and they're gonna call a foul on Clark, and that's going to put the Purple Raiders at the free throw line with the Muskies' 5th team foul.
That's her 3rd foul.
3rd personal for Stephanie Clark, like you just pointed out, Joe. And this is not where the Muskies wanted to be at this point of the game. This is where they need to be taking care of their own business and getting their own free throw attempts to fall, not giving them over to Mount Union, as Aaron White will set up to take these attempts. First free throw is good, nothing but net, flushes it right through. Morissette checks back in Union. Now down to a 76-69 Muskie lead. 7-point deficit right now for the Raiders. Make that a 6-point deficit as White makes the pair. 76-70 in favor of the Muskies. 3 minutes left to go in the ball game. Smith is going to try to break the half-court trap, gives it over to Taylor, back to Carson. Carson being called for another travel as she couldn't make up her mind. That's the 4th time she's been called for a travel violation, as Rapik is going to check back into the game for Morissette. Going with the defensive-offensive switch on this one is Coach Bennett. Rapik will inbound to Alkery. 6-point Muskie lead with just under 3 minutes to go. Alkery brings the ball up, gives it over to Sanborn. Sanborn with it at the top of the arc, hands it back off to Valkyrie. Going back over to Rapik, who spots up for 3. That one's no good. Rebound goes to Katie Smith for the Muskies. And with 2.5 minutes left to go in this one, she gives it over to Carson on the left wing. Carson going to retreat back to the high point, looking to find an opening and set up the play. She's going to go over to the right wing to Katie Smith. 17 seconds left on the shot clock as Taylor's got it up top for the Muskies. She goes over to Parkman at the right wing, going back over to Carson at the top of the arc. Carson back over to the left elbow. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Muskies have to do something. Getting a screen from Taylor. Carson's going to spot up and no good off the rim. Mallory Taylor gets the rebound though, and the Muskies will reset with 2:06 remaining. Going back all the way up to the high point to Carson. Coach Fox trying to set up the play from the sideline. Carson gives it over to Katie Smith, right wing. 19 seconds on the shot clock. Muskies up by 6. Taylor's going to try to put something up, and she's going to draw the foul. Coach Bennett and the Raider faithful can't believe what they're seeing here in the NC Steel Center, as Mallory Taylor is going to go back to the free throw line with 1:53 remaining. Bazansen's going to check in for the Fighting Muskies as Hennessy checks in for Mount Union. Sanborn goes to the bench for the Raiders, and Parkman goes to the bench for the Muskies. Free throw attempt number 1 by Taylor is good. Gets it back out to a 7-point lead, 77-70 with 1:53 remaining. Taylor could make it an 8-point game right here if she makes this attempt. She does so and is back to an 8-point Muskie lead, 78-70, 1:50 remaining in the ball game. Alkery brings it up for the Purple Raiders. She'll be guarded by Carson. Goes over to Hennessy, left wing. Hennessy looking to give it back to Alkery. Now she's going to get a screen from White. Driving baseline, going to be taken on by Clark, and she goes high off the glass, gets it around the rim, and good. Friendly shooter's roll on that one, as the Muskies lead is back down to 6, 78-72 with 1:30 left. Trying to break the full court press as they give it over to Mallory Taylor, now over to Carson. Carson at the high left point takes it up to the top of the arc. Goes over to the right wing to Smith. 15 seconds on the shot clock, 1:16 left on the game clock. Bazanson with the ball right wing. She's going to be double teamed, retreating all the way back to half court. She's going to split a triple team and spot up from the elbow. No good. Rebound goes to Taylor off the glass. No good. Another rebound and a foul being called on the play against the Purple Raiders, according to the Muskie bench. And that will send Stephanie Clark to the free throw line for 2 shots after the Muskies, somehow Bazanson found a way to break a 3-man disadvantage.
And Aaron White just fouled out of the game, a key player for the Mount Union Purple Raiders.
That's going to send Rachel Tinkey back into the game as Coach Bennett wants to get some three-point shooting back out on the floor. A big small ball lineup for the Purple Raiders with 5 guards out there right now. First free throw attempt from Clark is good. Gets it back out to a 7-point game, 79-72. And the second free throw attempt goes off the rim and eventually falls, but we're going to see a lane violation as Clark didn't think that it was going to fall down. Tried to go up and get the rebound, and the score will stay right where it is. 79-72, Muskies lead with a minute remaining. Alkery with the ball for the Purple Raiders. Goes to a cutting Tinkey who kicks it right back out to Rappick. Rappick for 3, off the rim, no good. Rebound will go to the Muskies, and no, 2 Muskies converged, and it went off of Stephanie Clark. Goes out of bounds, and the ball will stay with the Raiders. 49.1 remaining and 30 seconds on the new shot clock. Alkery will inbound, gives it to Bartozowicz. She drives baseline, step back floater, no good, gets her own rebound, and she's going to draw the foul. She'll go back to the charity stripe for 2 more attempts, trying to cut back into this Muskie lead. Coach Fox is going to look to send in Haley Stocker for the Fighting Muskies, possibly Stephanie Clark. First free throw attempt from Bartozowicz is good, as Clark will check out for Stocker coming back in. More three-point shooting coming on for the Fighting Muskies. 79-73, Muskies lead, 44.5 seconds remaining. Second attempt from Bartozowicz is also good, making a 5-point game, 79-74. Press, and Tinkey's going to immediately foul Carson and send her to the free throw line.
Big free throws coming up for Carson right here. She needs to put them in.
So now the foul game going to be played by the Purple Raiders as they try to claw their way back in it with 43 seconds remaining. Carson's first free throw attempt is up and good. Back to a 6-point ball game, 80-74. And I believe Coach Bennett's going to call a timeout immediately as the Raiders get the ball back after seeing her talk to the referee. And that is going to be the case as Carson makes the pair. 81-74 is the Muskie lead with 43.4 seconds left on the clock. As they take a timeout, we will take one right with them, and we will be right back for the final stanza here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Welcome back to the NC Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University, where the Fighting Muskie women's basketball team holds a 7-point lead, 81-74, over the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders here on the Orbit Media Sports Network with 43.4 seconds remaining in the ball game. Up in the broadcast booth with me is Joe Scott. I'm Chris Morgan, along with Logan Weaver on the sideline, bringing you the final 40 seconds and change of this ball game as the Muskies try to break this tie for 4th place in the conference. Hess is going to go off the glass, no good. Rebound goes to Katie Smith, and she's going to be fouled immediately by Hennessy on the play with 33.5 seconds left in the ball game as Smith will go back to the free throw line, trying to tack more onto this Muskie lead. Katie Smith going to attempt 2 free throws here as Coach Fox is going to retreat all the others to the backcourt, just letting Smith stay there by herself as the first attempt is good. Back to an 8-point ball game, 82-74. Smith now with 12 points on the evening. Second attempt is off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Bartozowicz. 30 seconds remaining as the clock continues to roll. Bartozowicz with a palm ball there. The fans definitely wanted that one, but the officials missing it. Muskies get the rebound, and now Carson's going to be fouled going back the other way, and she will go to the free throw line with 22.3 ticks left on the clock. Same strategy for the Muskies, sending the other 4 back deep just in case a rebound goes astray. First attempt by Carson is good. Now Bartozowicz sending Ropik back deep. Katie Smith picking her up defensively. And now we're going to see another timeout being called by Coach Bennett. We'll keep it here for this one, though. So with 22.3 seconds remaining, a 10-point ball game for the Muskies in the lead, 84-74, both teams in the bonus, so any foul sends either team to the free throw line. So at this point, Joe, if you're Coach Fox, you're just going to want to not foul Mount Union, let them take whatever kind of shot they want, and then just continue to hit your free throws on the other end offensively.
Yeah, you don't want to do anything stupid at this point. Just let them get an easy layup in. Just let them get an easy layup. If they foul you, go down there and make your free throws. And if you don't, you just got to play defense. But the important part is don't make any mistakes at this point in the game.
And that's the big thing defensively for the Muskies. Like you just said there, Joe, give them the easy layup. Flood the three-point line. Do not let them get those long balls off, because that's going to be their quickest road back into this ball game. If they can hit a couple of threes, it's automatically back to a two-point game. But if you flood that three-point line, don't let them get that shot off and force them to go down low, then that's going to be in favor of the Muskies, and that's going to be something that Mount Union is going to try to counter with 5 guards out there on the floor still, trying to get their three-point shooting with Bartozowicz inbounding to Hess. Hess is going to try to drive down low, kicking it out to Ropik. Ropik is going to put up a 3, and that one's good. Katie Smith didn't rotate over in time, and now Coach Fox wants a timeout. She's still has 3 timeouts remaining as the Purple Raiders are out of timeouts. They're going to send Alcary and Morissette back in, as well as DeFord for a little bit of defense down low. But that's exactly what the Muskies didn't want to do on that possession. They allowed the three-point bomb, didn't rotate over defensively, and they kind of paid too much attention to the down low drive by Hess on that play.
Yeah, you got to know what personnel's out on the court. You got one of the best three-point shooters in the OAC out there in the right-hand corner, and you can't leave her open. Even though you want to cheat over on defense to help the drive, you got to let the drive go. Let them get the easy 2, but you don't want that three-pointer right there in the corner.
So the Muskies will advance the ball on the timeout, giving it over to Caitlin Smith to inbound right in front of the Muskie bench. 16.8 seconds left on the clock. 84-77 Muskies lead. Bazanson gets the inbound, and she'll be fouled immediately. Less than a second came off the clock before Bazanson was fouled, and now she'll go to the free throw line for 2 shots. Three-point lineup will come back in on the offensive-defensive switch for the Purple Raiders. Bazanson's first free throw attempt is good. So that will send Hess, Tinky, and Ropik back out for Mount Union. Muskies are going to keep Carson down low, as well as Smith relatively in the area. Second attempt from Bazanson is also good. Back out to a 9-point game, 86-77. 13 seconds left on the clock, and the Muskies will go back on the defensive end. Hess for a long 3, and that one's good. Got the miracle rainbow to fall on that one. And now Coach Fox going to take another timeout. Still has plenty to play with here. Now down to 2 timeouts remaining with 7.6 seconds left in the game. I'm sure she's just telling the girls, look, that's a shot. They just made that one, basically. The defense was good. You could have done a little bit better of a job getting your hand up in the shooter's face. But overall, if Hess is going to take that deep of a 3, I'm going to let her take that all day, because the odds of that going in are slim to none. But she got the upper hand on that one, getting that one to fall.
Yeah, that's the game of basketball. Sometimes you play great defense, but sometimes the offensive player just makes a better shot. But at this point in the game, don't make any mistakes. Get the ball in bounds and make your free throws.
Muskies up by 6 points, 86-80, with 7.6 ticks left on the clock. Katie Smith to inbound from right in front of the Muskie bench once again. She starts the play, looking to get it inbounds, gets it to Carson, and a foul being assessed immediately against Hennessy. I think about 0.6 of a second actually came off the clock, now down to 6.7 left, as Carson will get set for 2 free throws. Very quick fouls for the Purple Raiders.
Yeah, Hennessy almost got her hand on that one, but Carson was lucky enough to get that pass.
First attempt by Carson is good as the three-point shooting lineup checks back in for the Purple Raiders. Once again on the offensive-defensive switch, this time sending Ropick and Tinky back down low. Stalker will pick up Tinky while Bazanson picks up Ropick. Carson sets up for the second attempt, and that one's also good. Back to an 8-point game. 88-80, 6 seconds left on the clock. Purple Raiders going back the other way. Bartosiewicz for a long three, and the bank is open with 1.3 seconds remaining, and a timeout being called by Coach Fox. She still has one remaining, so if the Muskies can't get an inbound in before the 5-second violation, she can always take that other timeout and reset the play. But with 1.3 left at this point, if you're the Muskies, this is pretty much the ball game right here. You're going to get fouled immediately. You make those 2 free throws, and you're pretty much right back in getting it to the point where you're going to win the game.
Yeah, I think Coach Falk just wanted to take that timeout, get a play in so she knows she can get that win, get the ball in. But sometimes, you don't want to take any chances. That was a good timeout call, and see if they can get the ball inbounds in this game.
88-83, 1.3 seconds remaining. Inbound goes directly down low, intercepted by the Raiders, and the time will expire as the Muskies come away victorious, 88-83 over the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders here at home in the ANSI Steel Center. Just an amazing game overall by the Muskies, kind of letting things get back close a little bit late. That's not exactly what they would have wanted on the game defensively, but still a good job offensively, especially late, making their free throw attempts and getting themselves in a position to be able to win the ball game.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. Make your free throws at the end to finish a very close ball game, very entertaining ball game. Muskies come out with a victory.
So that will move the Muskies to 5-4 in OAC play, as well as 9-7 overall on the season, breaking that tie for 4th place in the OAC as the Muskies stand alone and now in the 4th spot in the Ohio Athletic Conference. And now let's go live to Logan Weaver, who is live on the sideline with Mallory Taylor and Coach Fox for the Fighting Muskies.
Guys, I'm here with Coach Fox. Coach, what will this win mean for you heading into the thick of the OAC schedule?
I'm not so worried about the OAC. I'm more worried about us right now. I think it was a good kind of a break of the streak right there we had. We were on a slide downwards, and I told them it was trying to get off the slide here and jump on the ladder, so I think they did a good job tonight.
And what will this win mean for you?
I think it's a really important win. I think we really needed it, have that streak we had. We finally broke it, so hopefully we can keep it going.
All right, thanks, guys. Congrats. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Logan, our sideline reporter for today's contest, live with Coach Fox and Mallory Taylor for the victorious Fighting Muskies in today's contest. An 88-83 win over the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders, moving into 4th place outright in the Ohio Athletic Conference. We'll go ahead and send it back to the studio for a short break, and we will be right back with your post-game report here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
The Forum, we're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant, because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Welcome back to the ANSI Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University, where the Muskingum women's basketball team comes away with a 5-point victory, 88-83 over the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders to move into 4th place outright in the Ohio Athletic Conference. I'm Chris Morgan, joined up in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott for your post-game report. And Joe, when you look at the way that this Muskie team really came away with this win here today, they did a really good job of holding their own late in the ball game and being able to put themselves in a position to get this win and finish off the Raiders after taking a pretty decently sized lead early in the third quarter.
In past few games, they've had a real problem, struggle finishing games, but they were able to finish today. They were able to make clutch free throws, clutch baskets at the end of this game. They were able to hold strong on the defensive end. They did a great job today. They should be very proud of themselves, especially in a very important game in the OAC race. So it's a great win for them. Hopefully they can continue this momentum into the heart of the OAC schedule.
And I think really the big thing that came away from the Muskies was that change that they made to the starting lineup coming into today's game. If you missed most of the broadcast, you missed the point that Dana Parkman and Haley Stocker were both inserted into the starting five for the Fighting Muskies today instead of Alex Carson along with Stephanie Clark. That change with the starting rotation for the Muskies, I really think that gave them a little bit of juice early in the game and gave them the opportunity to really mix and match their lineups, and Coach Fox took that advantage and ran with it for the majority of the game.
Yeah, it took us by surprise at the beginning of the game with the starters. But Parkman came in, played really well. Carson, even though she didn't start today, she played really well coming off the bench. They all contributed in some sort of way. It didn't matter if they started or came off the bench. It was a great team effort. They played very well, especially in a very important game.
And I really think in terms of player of the game, it's really kind of a hard choice for the Muskies because Mallory Taylor still had a pretty decent ball game. Alex Carson did phenomenal off the bench for this Muskie team. And it's really one of those cases where you have a couple of options that you could turn to, but I really think overall Alex Carson is really deserving of the player of the game honors tonight. She really infused a lot of energy coming off the bench, hit two really big three-pointers coming off in the first and second quarters, and I think that the change really kind of lit a fire under her and told her, hey, I'm not shooting well. I need to shoot better, especially from behind the arc. And she took that challenge to her advantage today and really did a good job of getting herself in a position to take good shots and get this Muskie team some points when they really needed it.
Upperclassman, she came off the bench. She probably wasn't maybe not too happy that she may have started, but she lit that fire under her. She played well. She came off the bench hitting two clutch three-pointers at the beginning of the game and played very well near the end of the second half. And another player we could probably say is another MVP, Dana Parkman, who just played crazy out there. She did everything out there. It didn't matter if it was behind the three-point line or in the heart of the lane. She had a very excellent game. But, yeah, Alex Carson, heck of a game for her.
And I really think with Dana Parkman, she did a really fantastic job of playing bigger than she is. Like we've talked about it a lot today. She's only standing at 5'7". She's a point guard for this team. Got to start at the 2 guard here tonight, but she was playing like a big power forward down there for the Muskies. Had a couple of blocks, was getting involved in the rebounding game. She was willing to go down herself dirty for those scrappy points that the Muskies desperately needed. Having that kind of a player that can come down from the perimeter and make those kind of plays down low is really good for this Muskie team. And I think that we're going to see a lot more of Dana Parkman in the starting lineup after her performance tonight.
Yeah, you love when you see a player go down for loose balls, get down and dirty, basically give her life for and do whatever she can to win. So it was great to see her do that when she came into the starting lineup. She played a big part of this game, and now hopefully we'll see what she does in the future for this team, and she'll be in the starting role or coming off the bench. But either way, she's going to make a big impact for this team down the road.
So with that, let's go ahead and send it back to the studio for a short break. But when we come back, we'll take a look at what's coming up next for the Muskies, as well as our final sign-off for the night.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Authority in East Central Ohio is ESPN Cambridge, FM 107.9, AM 1270 on your radio dial. Featuring great programming like Mike and Mike, Dan Lebitard, Ohio State basketball, Reds baseball, Blue Jackets hockey, select NFL games, and college football and basketball. ESPN Cambridge is also your local sports authority too. Featuring local high school sports all year round with some viewable on cable TV 2 in Cambridge or streaming online at yourradioplace.com/YRPTV. Your home for sports is ESPN Cambridge, FM 107.9, AM 1270.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Welcome back to the NC Steel Center, where the Muskies come away with a victorious 5-point win, 88-83 over the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders in OAC women's basketball action. I'm Chris Morgan, joined up in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott, bringing you your post-game report. And when you look at what's coming up next for the Fighting Muskies, they move to 9-7 overall on the season, 5-4 in the OAC, breaking the tie that they had previously with the Purple Raiders for 4th place in the Ohio Athletic Conference. Now the Muskies stand alone in that number 4 spot, getting themselves in a really decent position going forward in terms of OAC tournament contention. Remember, the top 4 teams at the end of the regular season, they're going to end up hosting in the first round. So the Muskies putting themselves in a prime spot to finish in that spot as long as they take care of their own business. And that whole March is going to really kick back off on Saturday when the Muskies go up against Baldwin-Wallace on the road.
Yep, like you said, very important. Baldwin-Wallace is the number 3 team in the OAC, so it's going to be a big matchup for them. They are on the road. Baldwin-Wallace is a tough place to play, so this is going to be another key game for them. Back-to-back key games. Hopefully they'll be able to stand up to the test.
And the last time they played against the Yellow Jackets was here inside the NC Steel Center. The women not coming away with the victory that they would have hoped for. They ended up falling to the Yellow Jackets in that game, 70-53. Not the contest that they were hoping to have, but at the same time, this Muskie team is now playing a lot better than they were that last time out.
Yep, they played very well today. Hopefully they'll be able to keep up the momentum, especially going into a very tough contest against Baldwin-Wallace. So we'll see what happens from there.
And that will do it here from us here in the broadcast booth. Orbit Media Sports Productions at Muskingum University are made possible in part thanks to contributions from the Office of Academic Affairs, the Arts and Humanities Division, the Theater Department, and the Digital Media Design Program. Our theme music for today's presentation on Orbit TV Channel 9 was composed by David Curley. Once again, the Muskies come away with a 5-point victory, 88-83 over the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders, and move into outright 4th place in the Ohio Athletic Conference. You can catch the next live broadcast presented by Orbit Media Sports on Wednesday when the men's basketball team takes on Capital here inside the NC Steel Center. Let's send it back to the studio for the final time tonight. For the final time, for Joe Scott, I'm Chris Morgan. Have a great night, New Concord.